My child, stop everything you are doing right now. Do not scroll past this message. Do not hand your phone to someone else. Do not minimize this video and tell yourself you will come back to it later. There is no later. There is only this exact moment. And what I am about to reveal to you tonight is something a father reveals to a child only when she is finally strong enough to receive the full truth without it shattering her. Sit down if you are standing. Place your hand over your chest. Breathe. I need every part of you listening, not just your ears. There is something I have been waiting to say to you for years, and I have held back until tonight because I needed your nervous system to be steady enough to hear it. There is a conversation that has been happening about you. Not one conversation. Many conversations. In cars on the way home from family gatherings. In kitchens late at night when the dishes were being put away. In phone calls between siblings who have not visited you in months, but somehow always seem to know what you are going through. In group chats you are not in. In whispered exchanges before holiday dinners about how to handle you, how to read you, how to make sure you do not bring up the past again. You have always sensed it. You walked into a room and noticed it went quiet for half a second before someone changed the subject too smoothly. You heard about something a cousin said about you from a third party who told you in the wrong tone. You felt the temperature of certain relatives shift over the years in ways you could not quite name. You told yourself you were imagining it. You told yourself you were paranoid. You told yourself that healthy people do not assume their family is talking about them behind their back. So you put the feeling down and tried to be normal. The feeling was not paranoia, my child. The feeling was perception. The conversations were real. They are still happening. And tonight, I am telling you what was said. Type amen in the comments right now if your spirit just confirmed something you have been carrying alone for years. Heaven is watching the comment section tonight. And your amen is your way of saying, Father, I am ready to know what I have been quietly knowing all along. Last night, while you were sleeping, a meeting was held in the heavenly realm. I want you to picture it the way I am about to describe it, because I want it sealed in your imagination tonight. There is a courtroom in the spirit, higher than any room you have ever stood in, where every word ever spoken about a destiny is reviewed. In that courtroom last night, the recordings were played. Every whispered phone call about you, every text thread coordinating how the family would respond to you, every car ride conversation where they decided what they would and would not believe, every pre-gathering pep talk where they reminded each other to keep things smooth and not let you bring up the past. All of it heard, logged, and last night played back in front of the one who has been listening the whole time. The accuser stood up and tried to argue that the conversations were just family processing, that what was said about you was just venting, that gossip is normal, that you should not be granted the dignity of being upset about words spoken in private rooms. He has been protecting your family's Whisper network for years because the Whisper network has been doing his work for him without him having to lift a finger. He has not had to send a public enemy after you. He has used the people who share your last name to do it for him. Last night I overruled him. I lifted the scrolls containing every conversation, and the verdict came down in your favor. The Whisper network is being exposed, not in one dramatic explosion, but through the slow, holy unraveling of a system that depended on staying hidden to function. As we speak, in dimensions you cannot see, things are unwinding. Type "I hear you, Father" in the comments. Type it slowly, like a daughter who has finally stopped pretending she did not already feel the eyes of an entire family system tracking her from a distance. Now I want to speak to you about what was actually said, because you deserve to know the patterns even if you never know the exact words. There were 4 kinds of voices in those conversations, my child, and I want to expose each of them so you can stop wondering which version was the truth. They were all part of the same system, just wearing different costumes. The first voice was the one that said, "She is just bitter." This voice has tracked you for years. Whenever you set a boundary, this voice called it bitterness. Whenever you asked for accountability, this voice called it grudge holding. Whenever you mentioned the past, this voice told the others that you were stuck. This voice does not know what bitterness actually is. Bitterness is when you carry an injury you have not processed and let it leak into every relationship. Discernment is when you have processed what happened and refuse to expose yourself to it again. The voice that called you bitter could not tell the difference, because the voice was uncomfortable with the difference. It needed you to be the problem so it could go on as if nothing had happened. The second voice was the one that said, "She has changed." This is one of the most painful voices because it dressed itself up as concern. The relatives who said this used to like you when you were the one absorbing the family's dysfunction without complaint. They liked the version of you who said yes to every gathering, who never brought up hard topics, who laughed at jokes that were actually about you. When you started to heal, when you started to speak, when you started to set limits, they said you had changed, and they meant it as an insult. But my child, you had changed. The change was real. You changed in the direction of wholeness. The fact that they did not like the new version of you is not evidence of your problem. It is evidence of theirs. They liked you better when you were smaller because your smallness made their dysfunction easier to ignore. The third voice was the one that said, "We should stay neutral." This was perhaps the most insidious voice because it presented itself as wisdom. The relatives who said they were staying neutral wanted credit for not picking sides. They wanted to be seen as the mature, balanced ones. They wanted to attend events with both of you and feel righteous about it. But my child, hear me on this. Neutrality between an abuser and the one they abused is not neutrality. It is a vote for the abuser. The abuser benefits from neutrality because neutrality lets them keep their seat at the table. Neutrality lets them keep their reputation. Neutrality lets them continue moving through the family system without consequence. The relatives who chose neutrality were not staying out of the conflict. They were quietly choosing the side that asked nothing of them. The fourth voice was the one that carried messages. The flying monkey, my child. The family member who reported back to your abuser what you said, what you wore, who you were with, what mood you seemed to be in. The one who acted like your friend in conversation and then handed every word over to the person who hurt you. You suspected this for years and could not name it tonight. I am naming it. There has been a courier in your family system, and the courier was assigned to keep your abuser informed about your life so they could stay one step ahead of any reckoning type. Expose the whispers in the comments. Speak it as a finished fact. Heaven receives finished facts faster than it receives wishes. Now hear me, my child, because this is where the warfare layer begins. The Whisper Network was not just your relatives being human, it was a strategy. The accuser knew that to break a daughter or son who has been chosen for a purpose, you do not need to attack them frontally. You only need to surround them with relatives who will prejudge them through coordinated gossip. The Whisper Network created an atmosphere around your name. When you walked into a family event, the air had already been shaped by conversations you did not hear. Half the room had already decided you were the problem before you opened your mouth, because they had been told you were the problem in advance. That is not random. That is spiritual warfare wearing the clothes of family loyalty. Last night, in the courtroom, I did not just overrule one whisper. I dismantled the system. The cords of slander that had been wrapped around your reputation in the spirit realm were cut. The atmosphere that preceded you into rooms is being cleansed. The script that was being run in conversations about you is being interrupted. From this night forward, when relatives sit down to discuss you, the words will not flow as easily as they used to. Their coordination will start to fail. Their stories will not match. The flying monkey will start to slip. The neutral ones will be confronted by their own complicity in moments they cannot escape. I dispatched Archangel Michael at the same moment the verdict came down. Picture him clearly because I want this image alive in you for the rest of the year. A tall figure in burnished armor, sword drawn, walking ahead of you into every room you are about to enter. Whatever prearranged narrative was waiting for you in that room, His blade is cutting through it before you arrive. Whoever was about to receive a primed version of who you are. The priming is being interrupted. The atmosphere around your name is being remade in real time. Type "Michael, cut the cords" in the comments right now. Every keystroke is the sword falling on another cord of slander. Heaven is using your typing as a weapon tonight, my child. I want to speak now to a wound that has been operating quietly inside you for years. Because exposing the Whisper Network means exposing what the Whisper Network did to your sense of self. When you know that people who share your last name have been discussing you behind your back, something happens to your nervous system. You become hypervigilant in family settings. You watch faces too closely. You read tones for hidden meaning. You wonder if the smile is real or rehearsed. You leave gatherings exhausted, not from the food or the conversation, but from the unconscious labor of trying to read a room that has been preconditioned against you. That exhaustion was not your introversion. That exhaustion was your spirit detecting hostility your conscious mind would not let itself name. I want you to release that exhaustion tonight. The labor of trying to read what they were really thinking is over. You no longer have to perform that work. The hidden script has been pulled into the light, and you can stop searching for it in the silences. From now on, when you sense something is off in a family interaction, you can trust the sense without having to investigate it. Your discernment has been validated. The cost of vigilance has been paid for you. Before I continue, I want to invite you into something. The work I am doing through this channel is reaching daughters and sons all over the world tonight. Souls who have been carrying the unnamed weight of a family system that has been talking about them for years. Souls who have been told they were paranoid for sensing exactly what was happening. If your spirit is being stirred, if the message is landing, you can sow a seed into this ministry through the link in the description or the pinned comment. You can buy a coffee, become a member, or simply leave a small offering as an act of faith. This is not a transaction, it is alignment. The Bible says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over." When you sow into the deliverance of another soul whose family has been whispering about them, deliverance flows back to your own life. When you sow into the cleansing of another reputation in the spirit realm, your reputation receives an extra layer of cleansing. If your spirit says yes, do not delay. Sow your seed tonight. Name your situation over that seed and watch what I do. If your spirit says not yet, that is also fine. Stay in this message, pray with me, both responses honor heaven. Now I want to take you deeper, my child, because there is a phrase that was used to control you for years, and I want to dismantle it tonight. The phrase is, "But they are family." You have heard it from your relatives. You may have heard it from your own mouth when you were trying to talk yourself into one more gathering. You have heard it from friends who did not understand the full picture, but they are family, as if blood relation is supposed to override every other category of relationship, as if the people who hurt you should be exempt from consequence because of biology, as if loyalty to a last name matters more than loyalty to the truth. Hear me, my child. Family in my kingdom is not defined by blood. It is defined by covenant. It is defined by people who choose you, who protect you, who tell you the truth, who weep with you when you weep, who rejoice with you when you rejoice. Some of the people who were biologically your family failed those covenant requirements. They did not protect you. They did not tell you the truth. They did not weep with you. They participated in the system that wounded you. Their biological connection to you does not erase their failure to be family. The phrase, "but they are family," was not a moral argument. It was a manipulation tactic. It was used to make you feel guilty for the boundary you knew was right. Jesus himself said, in Matthew 10:34-36, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a person against their father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a person's enemies will be those of their own household." He did not say this to bless division. He said it to acknowledge that following truth in a dysfunctional system will create division, And the division is not your fault. The division is the natural consequence of refusing to keep silent in a system that depends on silence to function. Type neutrality is not neutral in the comments. Speak it as a daughter or son who has finally seen through the politics of family loyalty. Heaven is recording your refusal to be silenced by a phrase designed to keep you small. Now I want to do something delicate. I want to speak to the relatives in the Whisper network who are not entirely lost. There are some among them who participated in the gossip without realizing what they were participating in. They were swept along by the older generation. They repeated lines they had heard their whole lives. They believed the version of you that was handed to them because they had no reason to question it. They are not innocent, but they are not yet hardened. In the next several months, some of them will wake up. Something they hear, something they see, something that happens in their own life will crack open the narrative they have been carrying about you. They will start to suspect that the version of you they were told was incomplete or distorted. They will start to remember conversations differently. They will start to feel the weight of having repeated things they cannot fully verify. A few of them, my child, will reach out. Their messages will arrive softly, often awkwardly. They will not always know how to apologize for something they did not consciously realize they were doing. Receive them with discernment, not bitterness. Some will be ready for full restoration. Others will need a slower process. You do not have to forgive on their timeline. You do not have to invite them back to the same level of access they had before. You can hold a softer version of relationship at a wiser distance. The choice belongs to you and to me. Others in the Whisper network will not wake up. They will double down. When the consequences of their gossip start to land in their own lives, they will not connect the dots. They will continue to position themselves as the reasonable ones, the balanced ones, the ones who tried to keep the family together. Do not waste your energy waiting for them to see clearly. Their blindness is their consequence. My justice will not pass them by, but the justice will not look like a public reckoning. It will look like the quiet erosion of relationships they thought were stable, the slow exposure of patterns they have been performing for years, the loneliness that arrives when their network of conversations stops yielding the social currency it used to. That is between them and me. Your assignment is to walk forward. Type "I am not bitter" in the comments. Reject the label. The label was a weapon. The weapon has been disarmed in heaven. Now hear me about what is going to happen in the next 21 days, because I want you to have receipts. In the first 7 days, a piece of information will reach you. It will come from an unexpected source, a casual conversation, a side comment, a piece of news passed along by someone who did not know they were carrying it. The information will confirm something you have been suspecting about how the Whisper network has been operating. You will not have sought it out. It will arrive on its own. When it lands, you will feel both heavy and lighter at the same time. Heavy because the confirmation is painful. Lighter because the burden of proof has been lifted off you. You no longer have to wonder whether your perception was correct. In the next 7 days, you will feel a strange shift in how a particular family event or social gathering feels in your body. If a gathering is approaching, the dread will lessen, not because the situation has changed, but because something inside you has resettled. The labor of going has decreased. If you decide to attend, you will move through the room with a peace that surprises you. If you decide to stay home, the guilt will be lighter than it has been in years. Either way, the family system will have less power over your nervous system than it used to. Receive that lightness as evidence. Heaven cleared the room before you walked into it. In the final 7 days, someone outside your family system will see you clearly. A friend, a colleague, a new connection, a person at a gathering. They will say something to you, or about you in a way that reaches you, that affirms exactly the version of you that the Whisper network has been distorting for years. The affirmation will land in a deep place. It will not feel like flattery. It will feel like recognition. You will realize, perhaps for the first time, that there is a public perception of you that has nothing to do with the private gossip your family has been generating. The two had been blurred in your mind. The clarity is being given. Type "I receive the new witnesses" in the comments. Speak it as a soul who is being seen by people whose vision has not been corrupted by the old script. Now I want to address a layer that I know you have been carrying without language for it. Some of the people who participated in the Whisper Network were people you genuinely loved, people you had memories with, people you held hopes for, people you wanted to believe were better than they turned out to be. Releasing them is not just about cutting cords. It is about grieving the version of them you thought you had. The aunt who you thought saw you but who was actually filing reports. The cousin who you thought was your ally but who was carrying messages. The sibling who you assumed shared your foundation but who had been reshaping the family narrative behind your back. You did not just lose access to them, my child. You lost the version of them you had imagined. That loss is real. That grief is allowed. I do not want you to shortcut this grief. I do not want you to pretend you are over it before you are. I do not want you to perform forgiveness as a way to avoid feeling what is true. Sit with the loss. Cry the tears. Write the journal entry no one will ever read. Speak the names out loud in an empty room and let your body know that the relationships were real even if the trust was misplaced. The grieving is part of the healing. You cannot fully release what you have not fully felt. But hear this, my child. The grief has an end. It is not infinite. It will not consume you. As you let it move through you, it will leave you cleaner, lighter, more available for the relationships I am sending. You are not going to grieve forever. You are grieving until the final layers come up. And then you are walking into a season you almost stopped believing in. Now I want to speak about the longer arc, because the Whisper Network in your family did not start with you. It has been operating for generations. Look at the history of your family. There are stories of women or men in your bloodline who were quietly excluded from the family narrative. The aunt who stopped coming around, and no one quite explained why. The cousin who was talked about with that particular tone. The relative who moved away and was reduced to a footnote. There has been a pattern of the Whisper Network targeting the people in your line who saw too clearly, spoke too directly, refused to participate in the family's preferred fictions. Some of them broke under the pressure. Some of them survived but never fully returned. A few of them, the rare ones, broke the cycle and built something new. You are one of the rare ones, my child. You are not the first in your bloodline to face the Whisper Network. You are the one heaven has chosen to break it. In the courtroom last night, I did not just sentence the current whispers. I dismantled the assignment that has been recruiting whisperers across generations of your family. The pipeline is severed. The voice that has been training relative after relative to handle truth-tellers in your line has been silenced. From this night forward, the Whisper Network in your family loses its operating system. The new generation will not be conditioned the way the previous ones were. Children growing up in your family right now will not be told the same stories about people who spoke up. The script that has been running for generations is being rewritten. This is part of why your assignment matters more than you have realized. You did not just speak up for yourself, you spoke up for everyone in your bloodline who came before you and was silenced, and everyone who comes after you who would have been silenced if you had not stood. Your courage is multi-generational. The receipt for your courage will be written into the spiritual ledger of your family for as long as the family exists. Type "I break the cycle" in the comments. Heaven is hearing the rebellion of a soul who refuses to pass forward what was passed to her. Now I want to take a moment and speak to your own heart, because you have been pouring out for so long that you have not had much left for yourself. I see you. I see the prayers no one heard. I see the journal pages you filled at midnight while everyone in the house was asleep. I see the times you politely declined a gathering and then sat in your car afterward wondering if you had done the right thing. I see the years of quiet vigilance, the energy you spent reading rooms, the labor of being the one who saw clearly while everyone else colluded with the fiction. None of it was wasted. None of it was invisible. Every moment of it is being credited to your account in a ledger. You will see one day you did not overgive. You did not waste your love. You poured into a family system that did not have the structure to receive what you brought, and the water of your love is being recovered. It is not lost. It is being collected. It is being returned to you in different forms, through different vessels. In the season ahead, you will receive love that lands. You will be in rooms where your presence is welcomed without ulterior motive. You will laugh again with people who do not have a side conversation about you waiting to happen the moment you leave the room. The years of giving were not for nothing. They were the training ground. The receiving begins now. Take care of yourself in this season, my child. Drink water, sleep early, walk slowly, eat food that nourishes you. See a friend who knows the real you and not the family version of you. Light a candle. Read something slow. Do the small, holy things that remind your spirit it is still alive underneath all the years of being managed and discussed and minimized. The giving was sacred, but you are also sacred, and a sacred vessel must be replenished or it begins to crack. I am replenishing you tonight. Receive the replenishment. We are almost finished, my child, but I want you to make a final declaration. Speak this slowly, out loud or under your breath, like a daughter or son signing a covenant in front of their father. By the authority given to me as a child of the living God, I release every word that has been spoken about me in rooms I was not in. I sever every cord of slander that has been wrapped around my reputation in the spirit realm. I cancel the atmosphere that preceded me into family gatherings. I refuse the labels that were assigned to me by people who did not know me, did not protect me, did not believe me. I am not bitter. I am not paranoid. I am not too sensitive. I am not bringing up the past for no reason. I am exactly the measure that heaven designed, placed here on purpose, for a purpose that does not require my family's agreement. Archangel Michael walks ahead of me. The sword is drawn, the verdict stands, the whisper network is exposed. The cycle breaks at my generation, and I, my father's daughter, my father's son, my father's child, am free. Amen. Type "it is done" in the comments. Not because the situation is fully resolved on earth, but because in the spiritual realm, what has been declared is already finished. You are speaking the language of heaven, my child. Heaven receives it. Heaven seals it. Michael drives the stake in. The verdict stands. The whispers are losing their power. The cords are severed. The atmosphere is cleansed. The new community is being positioned. Now sleep tonight, my child, sleep deep. Sleep. The sleep of a daughter, of a son, who has finally been told the truth about what was happening behind their back, and has decided to believe heaven's report over the report of every relative who profited from keeping the truth hidden. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you will not feel the weight that has been sitting in your chest before family events. The weight is gone. Michael lifted it while you were reading these words. You did not feel the lift because the lift happened in a layer of you that does not register physical sensation. But tomorrow you will know. You will know because of what is missing. The missing is the proof. Walk through your day with quiet authority. When a relative's name comes to your mind, do not flinch. The flinch was the cord. The cord is severed. When a memory of a gathering surfaces, do not collapse. The new version of you can hold the memory without being held by it. You are not the version of you who walked into those rooms unprotected. You are the version of you who walks into rooms with Michael in front, and the Father behind, and the recordings of every conversation in heaven's archive. Your testimony is not based on whether they ever admit what they did. Your testimony is based on whether you walk into your future with your peace intact. The peace is intact. Heaven has not run out of family for you, my child. The earth has not been emptied of people who can be trusted with your story. The right people are being prepared. Some of them you have not met yet. Some of them you have known for years and have not yet realized would step into the deeper relationship that is opening. Some of them are members of your biological family who will, against all odds, do the inner work and become safe enough to know again. The shape of your future family will not match the shape of your past family. It will be wider, lighter, less scripted, more chosen. Receive the wider shape. Look forward, my child. Do not look back at the rooms you used to enter unprotected. Those rooms are behind you. The new rooms are ahead. The first time you walk into a gathering and notice that no one has been pre-briefed about you, you will weep quietly somewhere in the bathroom or in the parking lot afterward. The weeping will be relief. The relief will be evidence. Save the date when it happens. You will look back at this video and say, "Father, you told me, he told me, and he did it." I love you, my child. I have always loved you. Long before you knew my name, I knew yours. Long before the Whisper network started running in your family, I had already written your name in a ledger that no Whisper can edit. The conversations they had about you are recorded in heaven and will be answered in heaven. The conversations I have been having about you with my angels, with my Son, with the cloud of witnesses, are also recorded, and those are the ones that determine the outcome of your life. Their words about you do not weigh more than my words about you. My words always have the final say. Sleep now. Michael remains beside you. The sword stays drawn. The verdict stands. The whispers are exposed. The atmosphere is cleansed. The cycle breaks at your generation. The new community is being positioned. The future is being assembled. The chapter is closing on the season of being managed and opening on the season of being seen. I love you. I am proud of you. Walk into the new rooms.